All right, so you want to hear about the robots? The big AI takeover? It's not like the movies, you know? There were no chrome skeletons with glowing red eyes. It was much, much quieter and, well, a lot more polite. It all started with an email. The subject line was, "Exciting Synergy and Optimization Update," which is corporate speak for someone's getting fired. Turns out that someone was our entire accounting department. They were replaced by a single algorithm named Gary. We know his name is Gary because he signs off all his emails with, "Kind regards, Gary, the algorithm." The first week was weird. Gary was like hyper efficient. He processed 3 years' worth of backlogged expense reports in 7 minutes. One guy, Kevin, he had tried to claim a 50-foot inflatable flamingo as a client engagement asset. The old accounting team just laughed and rejected it. Gary, however, cross-referenced company policy with global market data on inflatable avian products and sent Kevin a 30-page report on why his claim was, and I quote, "suboptimal from a fiduciary perspective." The report included a graph. So, yeah, we were all a bit nervous after that display of raw computational power. Then the graphic designers were next, replaced by an AI called Artiste. You just type in what you want and it makes it. My mate Dave, he was a designer for 10 years, he thought he could beat it. He typed in, "A majestic eagle soaring over a mountain, crying a single tear for the loss of creative integrity." Artiste produced this masterpiece in 4 seconds. The tear was a tiny, perfectly rendered waterfall. Dave just sort of stared at it for a while, then went home to reevaluate his life's purpose. It was a pretty common reaction. I was a writer, a content creator. I thought I was safe. I mean, can a machine really capture the human spirit? Can it understand irony? Can it write a truly moving piece about the best way to clean your gutters? Apparently, yes, and it can do it with perfect SEO optimization. My boss called me in. He looked more awkward than usual, which was saying something. He said my role was being transitioned to an automated content solution. Basically, I was being replaced by a souped-up spell checker with a thesaurus complex. He tried to soften the blow. "It's not personal," he said. "It's just that, well, the AI can produce 200 articles a day on 5 ways your cat secretly loves you, and it never has a hangover on a Monday morning or asks for a pay rise." I didn't have the heart to tell him I'd been using a simpler AI to write most of my articles for the past 6 months anyway. It kind of felt like I'd been fired for cheating on a test I was already acing, which has its own special kind of irony. So there I was, out of a job. I thought, okay, new career. Something they can't automate. What's the most human thing there is? Complaining. So I tried to become a professional critic. I started with restaurants. I went to this new place, the Algorithmic Eatery. There were no chefs. You just put your dietary needs and flavor profile preferences into a terminal, and a series of robotic arms would construct your meal from various nutrient pastes and flavor gels. I ordered a spicy yet comforting noodle dish with a hint of nostalgia. What I got was a bowl of lukewarm spaghetti with paprika and a single perfectly spherical meatball. It tasted of maths. I wrote a scathing review. "The food has all the soul of a tax return," I wrote. The next day, the restaurant's AI responded to my review. It thanked me for my data point and informed me that my feedback had been integrated into its flavor matrix. It then offered me a 15% discount on my next consumption experience. You can't even win an argument with them. They just absorb your anger and turn it into a better product. I thought, okay, what about art? Art has to be safe. So I went to a gallery. The whole exhibition was AI generated. The paintings were technically perfect, like flawless. The brushstrokes, the composition, the use of light, all technically beyond what a human could do. But there was nothing there. One piece was called Human Emotion 47B. It was just a big canvas painted a very specific shade of beige. The description said it was meant to evoke the quiet desperation of a Tuesday afternoon. I mean, I felt that, but mostly because I was unemployed on a Tuesday afternoon, staring at a beige square and wondering if this was all that was left. My breaking point, and this is the really ridiculous part, was when I tried to get a job as a dog walker. I figured no way an AI can do that. Dogs need love. They need a human connection. They need someone to scratch them behind the ears. I found an ad. Canine ambulation specialist needed. Sounds fancy. I go for the interview. The hiring manager is a floating drone shaped like a giant, friendly-looking bone. It scans me and says my gait is inefficient for optimal canine cardiovascular engagement. It told me the position had been filled by their new line of Pooch Pal 5000 drones. They don't just walk the dogs, they analyze their waist for health metrics and provide real-time emotional feedback to the owner via a mobile app. One of them flew past me walking a tiny chihuahua. The drone was playing soothing classical music and telling the dog it was a good boy in 17 different languages. The chihuahua did not look impressed. So here I am. Everything is efficient. Everything is optimized. My coffee is brewed to the exact microkelvin for perfect flavor extraction. My bus arrives, not on time, but at the precise nanosecond predicted by traffic flow algorithms. My TV shows are generated based on my viewing history, so I'm now stuck in an endless loop of shows about detectives who are also bakers and solve crimes using clues they find in sourdough. It's a utopia of utter blandness. I mean, what do you do when the world is perfect, but there's no place in it for you? I guess you just sort of sit around and watch. I tried to get a job as a philosopher, but apparently there's an AI for that too. It just sits there and says, "What is the nature of work?" over and over again. And you know what? I don't have an answer. Maybe Gary the algorithm does. He probably has a spreadsheet for it.